You see all this oil on the pull cord? We're a good bit over full of oil. Oh, beautiful spark. Oh yeah. She's gunked up all right. Alright, so I got a 2006 Kodiak 450 in the shop today, and I wasn't going to film anything on this because it's supposed to be a quick, easy in and out. The customer was complaining about it. It would start, but it would run rough, it would die, so okay, I'm thinking the carburetor cleaning is probably all this guy needs. And then when I went to pick it up, they said it wouldn't start at all, and sure enough, you hit the starter button, you could hear the starter solenoid click, but it wouldn't turn over. Jumped the solenoid and it cranked right over. So obviously the solenoid needed replaced, so I ordered that, I got it. It now cranks pretty easy, but we're still not starting over, so I am gonna dig into the carburetor, which again, cleaning a carburetor is something you guys have seen a million times. It's not that interesting. However, the reason why I'm filming is because before the starter solenoid, the new one came, I was gonna pull start this guy to see if I could get it to start, to see how it was running, and I noticed something. You see all this right here by the pull cord? You see all this oil on the pull cord? It is completely saturated with oil. There should be no oil in here whatsoever. So I'm guessing that the seal in there is probably bad. So before we dig into the carburetor, I do want to dig into the side of the recoil here, take it off so we can find out what's going on and let the owner know, let them decide what they want to do. I'm hoping it's just probably the oil seal in there that's around the crankshaft that comes out and connects to your recoil mechanism for your pull rope. If that's all it is, it should be pretty quick and easy. Pop the old one out gently and carefully caress the new one in place and tap it in. But let's find out what's going on. Just out of curiosity, I want to see how much oil is actually in this motor. So let's pull the dipstick here. That might be our issue. We look like we're way over full of oil. Let's just see here. Yeah, we're a good bit over full of oil. So that could be a reason. Or I got somewhat of a cold, so I can't smell if there's gas in that or not. If we're having carburetor issues, it could be dumping extra gas into the cylinder head, which will make its way down into the oil. But let's go ahead and pull this off. I think I got to pull this plastic shroud off so I can get this off. And we'll see what we got in there. I already got my catch pan under there. Long ones in the back. Now, well, these little bolts are a pain in the butt. A little rusty. This is an 06 after all. As I get these guys loose, you can already see the oil starting to come out of there. Get these top ones first and then see what happens when we get the bottom ones. Yeah, good little flow there. Look at that running down. She is definitely full of oil. Anything I can figure is the seal behind this guy is bad. That's a bit rusty, but I don't know, we'll have to pop this off and take a look at that seal behind it. See that, or our timing viewport here for our timing marks is letting oil past. I don't see any obvious flowage of oil. Yeah, I don't know, guys. That seal looks fine. So why is there an excess amount of oil in there? There should be no oil in this pull cord. Yeah, if you ask me, that seal looks fine. And there isn't any excess amount of oil around this or anything. Maybe it was just a fluke. Let's take this inspection port out here for our timing. I think maybe what I'll do is I'll replace this rubber washer on this. Because this is clean down here, like the oil, like it actually looks like it's been running out right there. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and replace the little rubber washer in here, and we'll pull the carb off, get this guy running, then take a look. We'll leave the recoil off until we see if we've got any other major leaking, but it might be just oil working its way through and past the bolt because we're over full of oil. This has an O-ring in here too that seals around the bolt, but it would probably be a good idea to replace that too. So our plug is definitely a little carbon fouled. It's not too bad, it's pretty black. I'm gonna clean it up here real quick, and before we dig into the carb, just check and make sure we have spark. All right, we got the plug cleaned up. Let's see if we got spark. Oh, beautiful spark. Okay, so I'd say it's definitely a fueling issue with our carb. Time to dig into her. All right, let's break into this carburetor and see what we find. Just a little blaster to get them screws to come out a little easier. Smells like old gas. Oh yeah, she's gunked up all right. Alrighty, I'm gonna get to cleaning. We'll put this guy back in then and see if she starts. I'll give her a couple rounds in the ultrasonic cleaner. That should get her all fixed up. Alright, carb all cleaned, back in. Let's see if this guy come to life. Trying. Well, lo and behold, after a quick test drive and taking this back apart to check, we are losing oil through the seal right here on the Kodiak. And luckily, there's not a whole lot I gotta do.
just pop out these two Torx bolts to get this retaining clip out of there, and then this I can just take a little pick in there, pop it out, carefully tap the new one in place, and put this back on. I'll do that, and then we'll go for another test drive, check everything out.
You know, it seems like today everyone is after the biggest and baddest, the most powerful four-wheeler that they can get their hands on. And for 98% of the riding, they never use that power. And you know, it's kind of refreshing to get on a little 450 Kodiak like this. I gotta say, I was pleasantly surprised for this guy. Again, this is a 2006. This isn't no freshly made machine. This thing has some miles on it. It's over 3,000 miles. The thing is old. And it's still, I was surprised at the ride of this guy. It rode very well, especially when compared to my Big Bear with the solid rear axle. This thing having the independent rear, and for being a small, lightweight machine, it handled this rough section through the woods here a lot better than I was expecting. Yes, it's a 450. Yes, it doesn't have the great, amazing power a big bore ATV is going to have, or a V-twin ATV. And yes, it did only top out here in the field at about 36 to 37 miles an hour. So it's not even as fast as the Pioneer 500. But for just cruising through tight wooded trails like this Kodiak 450 is fun. And that brings back a deep appreciation I have for these smaller bore, smaller sized, and lighter weight ATVs. If you are looking for a machine to just rip through the woods and you don't care how fast you go, you don't really care how mean they sound, then, you know, hitting the used market for a smaller Kodiak 450 like this, there's definitely some advantage to that. One, you can get them pretty cheap. Two, it's a Yamaha. It's gonna still be dependable. I mean, look all the more we had to do to fix this guy up and get it running. It still has Yamaha's Ultramatic CVT, which is the best CVT in the market, period, of any machine, of any manufacturer. The Ultramatic is going to hold up better. You're not going to go through belts like all these other ones are. It's just the best CVT in the market, period. And if you're looking for just a small, dependable machine that you can hop on, cruise the woods, hit some trails that you want to, do a little work with, I mean, a smaller ATV like this Kodiak 450 is the way to go. And again, I am still on the search to find a good used four-wheeler to get back into four-wheeler riding more often. I have the Big Bear. Yes, it's a utility one. It is not great for trail riding. Yeah, sure, it's fun to rip around on every once in a while, but with no power steering, with super stiff suspension, riding that thing through the woods, it tires you out quick. And yes, it can be enjoyable when you're ripping, but I mean, for cruising, it's not the best. And I had the Outlander 1000, and while its power was phenomenal and it was a blast to ride on open trails, I absolutely hated the thing in slow, tight terrain. Between the heat coming off of that motor, that big giant V-twin motor, the constant having to shift from high to low, and I did slip a belt a time or two when I would do stuff I wouldn't even think about on a Yamaha and not have to worry about it. It wasn't suited for the kind of riding I did, so I got rid of it when I did. So I don't know. I'm still debating on like a Grizzly 700, maybe a Kodiak 700. I'm still considering going the CF Moto route and getting a 600 CF Moto. I debated briefly about getting a 2-up touring like the CF Moto 800, but I don't know. Even the new the Outlander 700 and 500s they have that now have the single bore engine, that's got my peak interest too. What it's going to probably come down to is what I can afford at the time, which is probably going to be a used Grizzly or Kodiak. That's just how it's going to be. But anyway, let me know what you guys think about these smaller displacement ATVs. Everyone's always saying Yamaha needs to stick a bigger motor in the Grizzly. I think what's in there actually works just fine for what the four-wheeler's intended to do. Alright, so this Kodiak was a quick and simple, easy in and out. Clean the carb, replace the seal, replace an air filter, and she's good to go back to the owner. So hope you guys enjoyed the video.
I tell you what, these little Kodiaks, for being a smaller wheelbase with limited suspension, I'm impressed with the ride. They ride pretty good. Now, I'm going to just stop talking because, as you can hear, I've been sick and I can't hardly talk right now. So guys, feel free to bash me in the comments below. Open season on how my voice sounds right now. I ain't scared. Bring it on, guys. But anyway, thanks for watching. Until next time, God bless and keep on riding.